Okay, a few people have been asking for a full collection tour, like a full, basically a video tour of my collection room. I've done a few like sections of it, but I'm gonna attempt to do the whole thing. We'll see how much I like talking and how, you know, you guys like this. We're gonna start out with the beginning. Call on Yoda. Pepsi promotion for Revenge of the Sith. There's some mint on card Jax figures that I collected during the Attitude Era of wrestling. I opened most of them. I sold most of them. These are the ones I decided to keep. I'm not gonna I'm gonna obviously narrate this, but I'm not gonna go over every single item, only because there's a lot of shit in here, and I don't want this video to be 4 hours. So this is the corner of my room. This is mostly stuff that kind of like excess, overflow. Not stuff I wouldn't say I necessarily don't care about, but it's just stuff that I didn't really find a spot for. I mean, this technically has a spot. It's just not in like the main view of the rest of the stuff. These are Capital Critters, a short-lived cartoon. I don't remember these things. What are they called? Whatnots. I completely forgot they existed, and I saw them at the Long Island Toy Show, and I had to pick them up. Here's my Austin Powers wall. Back when Austin Powers was out, these things were like the shit. They were really hard to find. The dirty version, Fat Bastard. Yeah, I remember just going crazy, having my mom drive me to Katie's. I didn't have a car. Trying to find all these. McFarlane was big. Austin Powers was big. I decided to keep them for nostalgia sake. It's not something I would necessarily collect now, but I'm not gonna throw them out. Here is a Shrunken Head I got from Halloween City in Manhattan. Really cool. I do love Shrunken Heads. It's a weird thing to like, but yeah. These are hand painted supposed to be VHS tapes on a little piece of wood done by VHS Girl. She's on Instagram. I know I did a few videos, so a lot of this stuff might be repeated. I don't remember what I covered, so I might be repeating some shit. It's bound to happen. Here's some horror pops: Galwin, the Gate Minion, Wall Troll, and if you're a horror fan, you need a good guy doll. And I mostly open everything. Even though most of the stuff you've seen so far has been in the box. Of course, you got to keep this in the package, though. The box is so much of it. I believe this is called Elusive Concepts, Jabba the Hutt. Just a quick story. When I was a kid in the mid-'90s, I would always see this on Spencer's, and I wanted it so bad. It was one of those unobtainable objects for me. Because, I was buying $5 toys here and there. I wasn't spending whatever this cost, probably $200. Something that I thought I would never own. And hey, now I own it. Also have a house too, but the Jabba really was what made it. Just a bunch of stuff crammed in here. Creatures of the Light, these are cool. The guy's actually located on Long Island. Pretty cool. Some plush guys. Again, I'm going quickly. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Here's a My Pet Monster-like creature. It's called Los Temblors. It's from Mexico, I want to say. Along with real My Pet Monsters. This cool pumpkin dude made by Love and a Sandwich. Check her out on our Instagram. She makes a lot of cool little plush characters. Here's some Hot Toys Xenomorphs. I feel nobody ever sees these. They kind of blend in. Maybe I'll have to give them more love. Here's my horror, 1-in-1 scale horror corner. I mean, we got Puppet Master, we got Dead Alive, we got Ghoulies, Critters, and my latest creation, or not, I say creation, I meant addition, Trick or Treat Studios Stripe. I held off on getting this guy for a while, and then I just had that fear of missing out moment where I'm like, why don't I have this? How don't I have this? And he's absolutely awesome. This is the NECA one, the NECA Brown Gremlin from Gremlins 2. I think this guy blows it out of the water. And speaking of Trick or Treat Studios, Stripe and Gizmo. Stripe in Gremlin form, Mogwai form, Stripe in Gremlin form. I did a whole video of my 1/6 scale figures. So I want to do like a complete collection tour, so I'm not going to not include them. But I'm not going to go as extensively over them. Just check out the video if you want to see more of these. Catter Puppy. Another good guy doll, much smaller one. Predators. Here's Ludo by Little Miss Zombie. A lot of my really cool pieces I think are like one-of-a-kind customs. Here's some Walking Dead. Again, I'm pretty sure I did a pretty good job of going over all my 1/6 scale stuff. But here it is again. There's just tons of stuff packed in here. I really love this scale of action figure. I think it started when I used to collect the Hall of Fame G.I. Joe figures. And for some reason, I really just love the articulation and like the customization. I don't customize them. And I don't really play with these anymore, but I do like posing them. I do think they're really cool. So I always love the scale. There's a bunch of Game of Thrones mystery minis and Walking Dead mystery minis in front, as you can see. This is my Predator, Hot Toys Predator / NECA Gremlin section, all the way up here. The back Gremlin fell. Here we got some Migos, modern Migos, obviously. Not a little lot. Mostly Freddy Krueger, Andre, and Married with Children. And this is the Figures Toy Company Al Bundy, which is much superior to the Migo one, in my opinion. Walking Dead. That is a signed Dale by Jeffrey DeMunn, the actor who played Dale. Dale, I always loved Dale. I always liked, for Walking Dead, I always liked the Voice of Reason characters, and I think Dale was probably the best example of that. So I was a big fan of Dale. So I met him at Walker Stalker Con, and I got that signed. I was planning on getting a few more of them signed. I thought it would be cool to have like a whole shelf of Walking Dead figures signed. Didn't happen. Just got Dale. And here we go down here. Demolition Man. These are some cool Halloween creatures. Luca from the Planet of the Apes, the new Planet of the Apes. Kick-Ass 2, one of the best superhero movies of all time. Very underrated. I don't understand why it gets some hate it does. I thought Jim Carrey was awesome as Colonel Stars and Stripes. Here's another one of those more sentimental figures. I thought Spawn figures, if you collected toys in the late to mid-90s, you know that Spawn figures were like a big deal. No toys looked like them. Now they're kind of like every toy looks like them or better. But I remember this vampire guy was very hard to get. When I finally got him, I thought he was one of the coolest toys of all time. So I just had this mint on card vampire, just kind of just as like, you know, nostalgia type thing. Okay, here's some more. I have a lot of plush. Here's some more plush guys. A custom My Pet Monster mixed with a Boglin. This My Pet Monster, so the woman who sold it to me said that her uncle bought it for her. She stuffed it in a storage container, has never touched it, never played with it, blah, blah, blah. I believe her, because this thing is minty as hell. It looks like it was never touched. It's about as new as it can get, and he will stay new. I'm going to keep him away from little children so they don't, you know, mess him up. I don't remember the artist who made Mr. Sour Power, who was part of a food artist gallery thing, but he's kind of like a Lemonhead. And there's Cherry. I'm into the monsters, I'm into stretch toys. Here's some stretch monsters. I haven't opened them yet because I don't know quite what to do with them. I don't know. I kind of like the weird packaging. There was a gorilla that I opened. And most people who do know me as a Boglins collector. And here are my Boglins. Again, I'm not going to go into super detail with the Boglins, only because there is a video of them already. And there's still a lot to go through, so I will show you them again. But this is not a Boglin. This is a Big Ugly, made by Zack Ryder, another great artist. It's so cool. It's so hard to display this. He's hanging out the Boglins. I think he fits in. He might find a new home eventually, but that's where he is right now. Quirk and Glint, two of my favorites, and I have a mint loose pair. I don't have any sealed, but I have a pretty extensive Boglin collection, obviously, but nothing sealed other than this Slobster. I got him at a discount store somewhat recently, about 2 years ago. Some of these are some of the new ones that Tim Clark makes. Here is a one-of-a-kind Shrunken Head Boglin. Back to the Shrunken Head theme. Why not? Just this back wall. Here's the Mego Pennywise. David Robinson versus Michael Jordan. I'm a big Spurs fan. This was pretty cheap, but I thought it was a little weird. David Robinson versus Michael Jordan. They didn't play the same position. They weren't rivals of any sort. The Bulls and Spurs weren't rivals. They never had a playoff series. But hey, why not? These are the Tiny Toons by Neca. I wasn't going to collect these at first, but then I was like, yeah, they're kind of cool. Cartoon versions of horror guys. Here's my Bernie Sanders figures, which was actually part of a Kickstarter campaign, but it's not that special because I see it other places now. So originally that's how you would get it, but now I feel it's everywhere. But I'm a big Bernie guy. There's my Texas Chainsaw Massacre NECA figure, just something I kept. I have a loose one. And as I was saying here, I'm a big Spurs fan. Here are my Spurs figures. I don't go crazy with the sports stuff. It's not like something I'm like super into. I used to be really into collecting Spurs stuff. I used to have cards and everything. Now I'm more of a casual collector when it comes to that. Here's my weird wall, I like to call it. Just weirdo toy lines and bootlegs. Like Germs, Snailians. This is a bootleg dinosaur figure. Dinosaur Family. I got that at a store in New Jersey. The name eludes me right now. I'm not really sure what the deal, like where that was even sold. Zen Intergalactic Ninja. I thought those toys were so cool. I still kind of do. Dinosaurs, official ones. This is a mint on card LJN Freddy Krueger squishy toy. And here we go, Willow. My death dog is a little drunk. Probably shouldn't be trying to fix stuff. And that's what happens when you're trying to fix stuff with one hand and you have a camera in the other hand. And one of my Muscle Mania mint on card guys fell. I shouldn't say mint on cards. The card is far from mint, but they're sealed in there. Mashems, Tacky Stretch-Ride Warriors. Here's some more random plushes that are just chilling on the other side of my couch. This is a original 1970s Chewbacca. Here's Zack Ryder. Basham Buddy, I think. That Hans Moleman is a very rare piece. I think it was only sold in Australia. My friend sold it to me, Jeremy. Just other random stuff. He's some Simpsons. This Star Wars is like, I think it was sold at Disney World or something like that. It's a foam figure with like a skeleton in it. Otto. And Chewie. And Chewie is adorning all my badges from previous cons. And Icon, Comic-Con, other random stuff. I don't like to throw them out. They're kind of like a fun memory for me. So here we go to everybody's favorite, the Funko Pop section. I do have a Funko Pop video, so again, I'm really not going to go super into this. You can kind of see what they are. Again, I'm more than happy to answer any questions anyone could possibly have. Some of the stuff in front, obviously, is the Funko Pops. I added little guys to it. I try to make as much use of my space as possible. I really do like these ad icons. I probably got a few new Funko Pops since I made my last video. Here's my music ones. This is the new Lemmy. I think that's definitely was not my last video. I really like this Iron Maiden one. I probably said that last time, but I'll say it again. These are like a dream. I actually have a whole video dedicated to these, so you can check that out if you want. But these are really cool. Funko Pop Killer Clowns. And if you go a little further up, there's some reaction stuff up there. Let's continue over here. Gotta squeeze on by. More Funko Pops. That's that Goldust's sign. There's a Cactus Jack and Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was a mail away, so it's pretty hard to come by these days. I do have a pretty big Jack's Ruthless Aggression collection. If you're a wrestling figure collector, you know what that is. They're just in my DVD room, so they're not going to be part of this video, probably, because I have to walk across the house to get to it. So don't really feel like doing that. This is more of a tour of my collection room, and they're technically not part of my collection. They're part of my collection, but not collection room, so they're going to be excluded. But I do have a pretty big Jack's collection. And I actually sold a lot too, which I somewhat regret. But here's a signed Zack Ryder Pop. And if you are a wrestling fan, you may enjoy this next part. More plushes, nothing much to say about these. Here's Poop, here's P. Other than that, whatever. That's stuff I had over the years. They're all just jammed in here, not displayed the best way. How do you really display this kind of stuff, though? Let's start out with Hasbro Shelf number 1. Now, not all Hasbros, obviously. I really try to make the best, the best use of my space. So, there's the Funko Mystery Minis in front, and what are you doing in there, Bobby? Yes, a Bobby Heenan LJN Bendy. But he kind of fits in. There's the green carded guys. Some retros in the back. And no. That is not all. Second shelf of Hasbro's. And Captain Lou Albano Bendy. I think they fit in. Okay, here we go down to my Mattel Elites. These are, like, objectively, in my opinion, the best wrestling figures of all time. They're just really, really well done. Unfortunately, unless I figure something out, I don't have room for any more. So, these are the Legends. And here are the modern shelf. Again, with a little thing sprinkled there. I'm a big fan of Fit Finley, so I have a lot of his stuff. There's Tony Nese, Long Island Zone, and of course Long Island Zone, Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins. I have every Zack Ryder Elite. They're just hidden in the back somewhere. This is my Jack's Bone Crunching Action Collection. There's a bunch back there, trust me. And some mint on card ones. Big Steve Blackman fan. Love the Blue Blazer as well. And the Ultimate Warrior, I love him too. It's just a cool figure. I always really liked this Owen Hart. Speaking of Owen Hart, Blue Blazer. The weird Danger outfit he had. The construction kind of thing. There's a 2-pack of him and The Rock. Viscera and Undertaker. There's just some more wrestling stuff. This is like a music McFarlane type shelf. As I'm scrolling down, you're going to notice there's just tons of stuff on top of the packaging. That's just what I do. Kiss, Lemmy, Motorhead. This is, my friend got this for me in Florida, Killer Clowns. I don't know what that is called, but it's from the 80s, and it definitely looks like it's from the 80s. Here's that gorilla I mentioned before, along with a loose Freddy. These are Mashems by Coleco. They're in one of my other videos, yada yada yada, but here they are again. This is cool. I love prehistoric life. I love toys. This combines them. This is from the Dino Riders line, but they're not dinosaurs. They're giant ground sloth and saber-toothed cat. And I like that it's called a saber-toothed cat as opposed to a saber-toothed tiger, because they're not tigers. They're barely cats. So it's more of an accurate name. Here are the vinyl Funko 2-packs. I have another Mint on Card Owen. I have a lot of Mint on Card Owen stuff. Soda Pumpkinhead. This is a cool piece. I think he's pretty hard to find now. He's huge. He's about 18 inches. Mac by Barbarian Rage, I want to say, makes that. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Here's some Mint on Card Hasbros. I don't have a lot. In fact, I have 3. But the ones I have, they're all sentimental to me, one way or the other. Yoko, I don't have loose in that color, and I don't have this Hacksaw loose. Coco, I do. But he's for sale at a local store, deep end of the sandbox. Shout out to them. So why not? I always like Coco. Dino Riders Brontosaurus. Pretty cool piece. It's huge. He's constantly in a stare down with the Mach 5. Speed Racer and Chim Chim and all that. Here's a Sweet Tooth. That actually was a remote control car. Mad Balls of Hornhead. Finley Unmatched Fury. Billy Bob, freaking awesome piece from the Rocket Fire Explosion. He's next to a blobfish. There's no rhyme or reason to this stuff, people. It's just everywhere. L.O. the Worm. And there's one of my absolute favorite pieces, Mac for Mac and Me, done by Nightmare Reality Studios. He does some of my other horror props that were in the back. More reaction stuff. Now, Jigglers. Some people collect them. Some people don't know what they are. Some people do know what they are and think they're whatever. Basically, they're rubber toys from the 80s, 70s, and 60s, and have a very specific oily, rubbery feel to them. What we're going to have here is a combination of vintage and stuff that Zach Mendelia, who makes the Big Ugly, he makes new ones. These are all new ones. They're made to look vintage. These elephants are from the 60s. They're old. So it's a combination of ones that are made to look vintage and actually vintage. Like these poop guys, same thing. Zach makes these as well. But the polar bear, gorilla, caveman, these are all real vintage. This Pumpkinhead guy, I freaking love him. That witch I actually found in my parents' attic, so that was kind of like a free one. Here are some bendies. I love, obviously, big animatronic animals. I love Billy Bob. I love Chuck E. Cheese. Here's the Noid, Harry and the Hendersons. Cool spot. And I'm very slowly building an army of these aliens from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Mainly because they just look so cool and weird and freaky, and I absolutely love them. I'm pretty sure I covered these pretty good. And the lighting sucks. But here are my Game of Thrones 1/6 scale collection. Davos is by Zensation Studios. The rest are 3-0. Except for Tywin. Tywin is also Zensation Studios. This is the newest one, Tyrion. I think he's really good. Man, the lighting's really bad. They're against my window. They look better in person. Trust me. Yoda, what are you doing here? And my favorite character in Game of Thrones. One of my favorite characters of all time, Sandor the Hound Clegane. Here's where I play my video games, watch YouTube, sometimes stream stuff. This isn't my main TV. It's my like hanging out when I'm by myself TV. And there's a bunch of other random things around here. Mostly Battle Beast, but you'll see other little things too. Okay. This wall is behind my TV. There's Machete. I think it's the only Machete figure they've ever officially made. Garbage Pail Kids, Mr. Bubble, Castle Freak. I actually got that at San Diego Comic-Con 2004. Bootleg ET stickers. Anything of interest I'm trying to show you guys. This is Farscape. I always champion this show. I think it's so underrated. I think it's so good. I think it holds up. Go watch Farscape. It's on Amazon Prime. WWF Bendy's, I'm pretty sure. I'm probably missing stuff. Here's my mint on card Puppet Masters. You saw loose ones by the 1/6 scale figures. Movie Maniacs. I collected the whole line up until they switched the packaging. I don't know if it was a conscious decision or it was just somewhere in my life where I wasn't interested in buying them anymore. This is actually signed by Bruce Campbell. These are cool. Again, sorry for the glare. Now these are my shelves. Some of the stuff speaks for itself. Some Malbolgies in the back. Here's some more like urban kind of arty figures. There's our president in all his glory. My Pet Monster vinyl toy. This is I'm not gonna remember the artist who did these. To keep it greasy and anglerfish. Here's the dragon monster thing from Willow, Eberesque. The Abominable Snow Cone. Really cool. He's a really cool piece. And Sleepwalkers. Charles from Sleepwalkers. One of my favorite movies. At least one of my favorite horror movies. That's a custom figure. Here we go. Those are Seinfeld's vinyl idols. And some mystery minis. Funko mystery minis. A lot of Funko mystery minis. Here are more your typical traditional action figure type figures. That is a custom Torok. The Troll from Troll. Ghoulie, Ice Cream Man. Here's another very cool piece. Sorry, purple dude. I'm going to move you over here for a second. Here's Chet from Weird Science, made by One-Eyed Girl. Slimer the Hutt. Human Centipede Chapstick. Just more random horror stuff. Phantasm. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Devil's Rejects. I don't have a whole lot of superhero stuff. It's not really my thing, but I did collect some Marvel Legends back in the day. And here they are. They're mixed with some He-Man stuff. There's a awesome custom George Glover, I think Christmas card, birthday card that my girlfriend got me. Here are the Ron English serial killers. These are fun. And did I mention that I love Jabba the Hutt yet? Well, I do. More plush. There's Alf. Rigel, my dog's named after him from Farscape. Easter Island kind of statue. Little Britain. Another Jabba. Some stretchies. Stretch Trump. Here's a stretch Pokey. This is a foam Pokey. These are Fugglers. Foam Garfield, Foam Jeffrey the Giraffe. And Vacman. That is not original. It's the new Vacman. I actually have a Stretch Armstrong in the box that's completely covered by the My Pet Monsters. So that's why you guys didn't see it. Here's my Lord of the Rings like Orc Evil shelf by Toy Biz. I also have like the quote unquote good guy shelf. These were really good for their time. We're back to more randoms. Black Star, Demons, David the Gnome Trolls. These just came out. I love them because they look vintage. They're Funko Soda. Some Krangs. Snailians, which you probably saw some carded ones. Here's those movie turtles made by NECA. They're great. Bub in the background. Toxic Avenger Soda from Soda Toys. There's Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal. This might be my most random shelf of all. You got everything here. You got Beavis and Butthead. You got Wayne's World. You got Dino Riders. Baby Selwyn. Yeah. Chuck E. Cheese. These are the Alien line. Here's E.T. The Kurgan and Connor McLeod. Highlander. That's a lot of random stuff. Simpsons Kid Robot. They got their own shelf because there's so many of them. Oh, what? I lied. Futurama and South Park are there too. Oh, now we're on to the Funko Mystery Minis, The Lord of the Rings. I have a lot of Mystery Minis, like hundreds of Mystery Minis. This is the Balrog. Super heavy. It's super risky putting him up here, but I think he's pretty stuck. But if he does fall and he hits somebody, it's probably going to kill them. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I know a lot of people don't like the Hobbit movies, but I really think the Great Goblin was a really cool character design. Completely hideous. I love it. There's the Shelob, Treebeard, King Kong, Peter Jackson as a Hobbit. Let's just go right across here. Here's some Rampage toys that I decided not to open. That's my second set. My first set I did open and they all broke. So they're just going to stay mint on card. Or mint in box, shall I say. California Raisins. Now, if you were friends of me like years ago, I used to have a huge display of the Hasbro Star Wars figures. They've been reduced to this, sadly. They're vintage and some new ones. I don't know. I still love Star Wars, but other things just took over. And they're in some bin in my shed, and will they ever see the light of day again? I don't know, but this is the ones I've kept out. I actually haven't really sold any. I still have them all. They're just not really on display. There's Mac tonight. That's the vintage Amanda Man. It's probably my most valuable piece. He's pretty expensive. This is my Street Fighter shelf with one little Easter egg in there. Well, actually 3 Easter eggs. See if you can find them. Pretty obvious. It's a mixture of a bunch of different companies. With Blanca, I tried to get almost all Blancas, so there's a bunch of Blancas in there, including this very rare Blanca Troll / Swishnik. As I'm doing this, if anyone wants a whole video dedicated to any section that I'm quickly going over, I will probably do it. I'm just going quickly, just as quickly as I can, because I don't want this video to be 2 hours. Custom Duckman and Cornfed. This is mostly like a cartoony type shelf. The horrible gelatinous blob, some Germs. Germs are a really cool toy line. These are from Lucharitos, which is a a local Mexican restaurant. They're actually pretty cool. I like having unique pieces. They're unique. Some Clerks. All right, these are not Migos. They look like Migos. They're Diamond Select. They're meant to look like Migos, though. Here are some South Park, Jax, Rocky, etc., etc. We've gone down to the prehistoric shelf, including the very old man in the background. Most of these are from my childhood. Not all, though. Like Sarcosuchus, he's a new toy. That woolly mammoth I recently bought, he's from the Dino Riders line. He's not new, but he's new for me. Some cans I kept, novelty cans, including an Ooze-It, still with ooze inside. That's kind of scary. Some plush California raisins. Here are my Simpsons World of Springfield line. This is a really cool line, and they're not displayed really well. But as I was setting them up, I thought this was going to look better. They're kind of just really very squished in, and when people do come over and check out my collection, they don't usually get a whole lot of attention. You kind of just go walk right by them. It's hard to explain, but maybe one day I'll figure something out, change it up. But they're all kind of cramped in there. I don't have the play sets anymore. They just took up too much room. This is what's on top. That's a vintage Sucker Man. Mad Balls, Head Poppers. There's the Ooze-It. Other random stuff. That robot is from Pop Fun to Play in Brooklyn, New York. Exclusively sold there. Their official mascot. That is a bootleg Blanca Street Fighter figure. I do like bootlegs. My bootleg collection isn't like the biggest, but I get them when I can. Sectors. That is a vintage Chuck E. Cheese sucker. I know you guys are probably very interested in that. I'll let some of this speak for itself. You're probably sick of hearing me by now. This is just more towards the window. Look at that awesome glare. It makes everything look so hard to see. Let me just do a little switch. Howard the Duck is my favorite movie. This is a full pack of Howard the Duck movie cards. A big blueberry mask. A troll. And that's effectively it. Got some frame pieces here. That's a Howard the Duck laser disc. This is a Valentine's my girlfriend gave me before we lived together, and now we live together, and now it's framed. That was nice. This is a really random thing. Wisnik sing-along. Why not frame that? It's a vinyl album, obviously. So that, I think I pretty much covered everything. I don't think I forgot anything. I'm probably going to shut this off and say, uh-oh, what did I forget? But that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it to the end, congratulations. There's just one last look at everything. Woo! This is my Fortress of Solitude, if you will. That's a picture of me. Don't ask. But thanks for watching.